Natasha Howard, 50%. Aaliyah Boston, 70%, 69. It's a good number. Kelsey Mitchell, 50%.
Be who we need to be offensively is because our defense is fueled by it. Getting deflections and going to play in transition, you get to see the best version of the players and pros once we get the defensive stops that we need.
How did the Indiana Fever pull off the most shocking blowout of the WNBA season and do it without Caitlin Clark? The reigning champions, led by Aaliyah Wilson, looked unstoppable until this game. There's something everyone missed about the Fever roster, and it just came to light in the most dominant performance they've had all year. Want to know how Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston stunned the league? How do you take down the defending champs when your most dynamic star isn't even suiting up? The Indiana Fever walked into this matchup without Caitlin Clark, their centerpiece, sidelined with a groin injury. Most people wrote them off entirely before tip-off, but the Fever didn't just rewrite the script, they shredded it. With Dewana Bonner also unavailable, leaving the team even more short-handed, they were essentially staring down a nightmare. Yet somehow they leaned into their depth and determination to deliver a performance no one saw coming.
And just trusting that we're going to get better, and we have trust in ourselves and in our teammates that it's okay to mess up because we'll get it back. And especially, for great players, don't play for perfect games. So
Aaliyah Wilson is absolutely 100,000% the most important player on that team, and tonight she came away with the majority of the points, 29 out of 50.
And it all started with Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell didn't just play well, she straight up took over. From her first few shots, it was obvious she had no intention of letting this game slip away. She hit clutch three-pointers at the most critical moments, keeping the team steady whenever the aces started to push. But what really stood out? Her energy. Watching Mitchell on the court, you could see the way her confidence lifted everyone around her. Whether it was pulling up from deep or slashing into the lane, she was the steadying force, the heart of this team in the biggest game of the season. Then there was Aaliyah Boston. If Mitchell was the engine, Boston was the anchor, holding down the paint in a head-to-head with Aaliyah Wilson, the reigning MVP.
Beat them for the first time since, I think, 2019 is what I saw. And it was a dominant victory.
There's lows in every part of life, and I think for us in the Fever, it was our time, and I think we kind of deserved it based on our preparation and everything that we had been through prior to this game.
The physicality, the hustle, it was all there. Boston stepped up and made the paint hers, grabbing rebounds that seemed out of reach and denying Wilson easy looks at every turn. One sequence stood out. Boston blocked a shot, sprinted down the court, and finished strong inside off a Mitchell assist. That chemistry, that toughness.
not a flawless game. It's really hard to play a flawless game anytime. And I think as a group, we know that we're not going to make the perfect play. We're not going to make the home run play every game.
Killing it in the interior paint. The paint points for the Fever were crazy, especially in the beginning. I mean, the aces pretty much are nothing without Asia.
It was the difference. But let's not ignore the unsung heroes. Natasha Howard's defense, Sophie Cunningham's grit, Lexi Hull's hustle. Every single player contributed. Ari McDonald brought chaos to the backcourt, disrupting any rhythm the Aces tried to build. The Fever locked in as a unit, clogging passing lanes, doubling Wilson, and forcing contested shots the entire game. This wasn't luck. It was a team making a statement.
Natasha Howard, 50%. Aaliyah Boston, 70%, 69. It's a good number. Kelsey Mitchell, 50%.
Be who we need to be offensively is because our defense is fueled by it. Getting deflections and going to play in transition, you get to see the best version of the players and pros once we get the defensive stops that we need.
And if this is what they're capable of under pressure, how much more dangerous could they become? The Las Vegas Aces didn't just lose, they fell apart. This wasn't some close, hard-fought game where they narrowly came up short. No, the Fever dethroned them from start to finish. And for a team that's been steamrolling the league, that's a big deal. All season, the Aces have looked untouchable, dominating opponents with their depth and relentless scoring. Aaliyah Wilson, fresh off an MVP season, has been putting up monster numbers, and the supporting cast hasn't missed a beat. But this game exposed something different. Weaknesses no one expected. It all began with the Fever's defense.
Fever were actually able to get to the free throw line 17 times, and they shot 82%. and they were 31% at the 3, and they had a 49% field goal.
We're all feeling good. I think the energy's high. Really good win in Minnesota. Had a chance to celebrate together. I think that only helps our chemistry. All that stuff off the court definitely fuels us. We're having fun with each other.
Aaliyah Wilson walked onto the court as the unstoppable force, but Indiana made her night miserable. Every time she touched the ball, she was swarmed by double teams, often forced into awkward contested shots. The strategy worked. Wilson had to fight for every basket, and with that, the Aces' offense sputtered. You could feel the frustration. The usual flow and consistency just weren't there. The Fever were in their face, switching everything, clogging lanes, and leaving Las Vegas without answers.
Everywhere, I kid you not. It's been a focus point in everything we do. Shoot around, practice, film. Defensively, we just want to be as sound as we need to be to get whatever we want offensively.
Dismantled the Aaliyah Wilson led Las Vegas Aces.
To add to it, their shooting was ice cold. 26% from the floor? That's not just bad, that's broken. And it's not something you'd ever expect from a team this stacked. What made it worse was the energy in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The arena was electric, packed with fans who could smell blood in the water the moment the game tipped off. Every defensive stop, every made basket, the crowd roared like it was Game 7 of the finals.
I mean, every game this season is important. It all matters a lot. I mean, you're seeing across the league, the standings are moving every single day.
Lexi Hole, she was not scoring a lot, but defensive player of the year, I don't know, most improved player, there is something, she is a maniac now.
That energy spilled onto the court, boosting the Fever's confidence while rattling the Aces even more. But here's a thought. Did Las Vegas underestimate them? Without Caitlin Clark, maybe they came in expecting to cruise. They didn't just lose this game. They were outplayed on every level. Now the question looms, is this game a blueprint for how to stop the Aces? Because if other teams start applying this kind of pressure, we could see a serious shift in the league. If the Aces crack this easily, what does it mean for their dominance moving forward?
Natasha Howard, 50%. Aaliyah Boston, 70%, 69. It's a good number. Kelsey Mitchell, 50%.
Be who we need to be offensively is because our defense is fueled by it. Getting deflections isn't going to play in transition. You get to see the best version of the players and pros once we get the defensive stops that we need.
This win wasn't just any win, it was a statement. The Indiana Fever proved they're no longer a team stuck in rebuilding mode. They faced the reigning champions, missing not just Caitlin Clark but other key players, and still pulled off a blowout. That doesn't happen by accident. It showed their depth, their resilience, and their commitment to playing as one.
Because of how fast we like to play at our pace, being able to get stops and letting that spark our offense has been great, but that's been something we've been working on all season.
Great all-around win. Of course, big performances. Look, you're going to win games when you can hit shots with efficiency.
From Kelsey Mitchell's leadership to Aaliyah Boston's dominance in the paint, every player delivered when it mattered most. And if they're this good now, imagine what happens with a healthy Clark back on the floor. The future looks unstoppable. Are you ready?